moment most men completely miss. Nothing dramatic happens, no line is delivered, no move is made, yet something shifts. I've seen it happen in conversations that felt ordinary on the surface. Same words, same setting, same people. But suddenly, her tone softens. She stays a little longer. Her attention doesn't wander. And the strange part is this: the man didn't do more. He didn't try harder, he didn't impress, he didn't chase the reaction. In fact, from the outside, it looked like he did less. Maybe you felt this before, a moment where you stopped performing, stopped managing how you were coming across. And without trying to control the outcome, the energy changed. She leaned in, not physically at first, emotionally. And if you asked her later why, she wouldn't have a clear answer. She'd say things like, "I don't know, it just felt different." That's because attraction rarely begins where we think it does. And the behavior that triggers it is almost never the one men are told to focus on. Most men believe attraction is created through the right words, the clever line, the confident statement, the perfect timing. But psychology shows something very different. Human attraction is processed largely through non-conscious evaluation. Long before logic kicks in, the brain is already deciding how someone feels. This happens through what researchers call thin slicing, a concept studied by Knowle embody. In seconds, sometimes milliseconds, we assess emotional stability, confidence, and intent. Not through content, through signals. This is System 1 thinking, as described by Daniel Kahneman. Fast, automatic, emotional. System 2, the rational, verbal mind, comes later and explains the feeling after it's already there. That's why you can say the right thing and still feel ignored. And why another man can say very little, yet feel magnetic. Words live in System 2, but attraction begins in System 1. Tone, pacing, pauses. Emotional regulation, outcome independence. These are read instantly without conscious thought. When a man is calm and internally grounded, the brain interprets it as safety and strength. Not because of what he says, but because of what he doesn't need. This is why attraction often feels mysterious. The mind justifies it later, but the body decides first. And that sets the stage for the behavior women react to before they can explain why. I remember a night at a small gathering. I was talking with a group of friends when she joined the conversation. At first, everything seemed normal. Laughs, casual chatter, nothing special. But then, I noticed small shifts. Her body angled slightly toward me, almost imperceptibly. Her eyes lingered a moment longer. She mirrored my posture without realizing it. I didn't say anything. I didn't try to impress. I simply relaxed and let the conversation flow. Within minutes, the energy changed. She smiled more freely. Her laughter felt warmer, more genuine. The subtle tension in the air was replaced by a quiet pull. And here's what struck me. No lines, no moves, no forced charm. Just a calm presence, a grounded state. Somehow that was enough. This is the moment most men overlook. They chase attention, think they must perform. But what women actually respond to often has nothing to do with effort. It's the invisible shift, a subtle state change that speaks louder than words ever could. So, what is really happening in moments like this? It's not a tactic, it's not a trick. It's a state, a way of being that signals security and autonomy. Psychology gives us several frameworks to understand it. Emotional regulation. Men who remain calm, even in social tension, signal internal stability. Outcome independence. When a man isn't obsessed with approval, the brain reads it as confidence and self-reliance. Internal validation versus external validation. People are drawn to those who derive worth from themselves, not from the reactions of others. Each of these components influences how women perceive him, often without conscious thought. From the perspective of attachment theory, this mirrors a secure attachment style.
A grounded man provides a subtle sense of safety. Safety, in turn, creates comfort, and comfort sparks attraction. Neuroscience adds another layer. The brain's mirror neuron system automatically picks up calm energy. A relaxed presence lowers stress responses, making the woman feel emotionally pulled in. Notice something crucial. None of this involves words. It's not a charm, it's a state. And this is why men often feel frustrated. They assume attraction is earned through effort, when in reality it is felt first, long before it's explained. Understanding this foundation is key because the next section will show how it plays out in real interactions.
I was at a casual dinner with a few friends, just talking and laughing. One woman I barely knew started leaning in slightly whenever I spoke. Her eyes followed me even when I wasn't looking at her. And it wasn't forced. Her energy just seemed drawn toward mine naturally. I didn't do anything special. I wasn't trying to impress. I was simply present, calm, and focused on the conversation. Over the course of the evening, her gestures grew more open. She laughed more freely, touched her hair, and mirrored subtle movements without realizing it. And here's the kicker. It didn't feel like she was reacting to me. It felt like she was responding to the energy in the room, specifically the energy I was holding. This is what most men miss. They think attraction comes from words, actions, or displays of effort. But the reality is often quieter. Sometimes doing less and being fully present is exactly what creates the pull. Now, let's break down why this works on a deeper level. Attraction isn't just about desire, it's about emotional safety. Women respond strongly to men who create a subconscious sense of calm and security. This ties directly into attachment theory. A man who is emotionally regulated triggers the secure attachment response, making her feel comfortable and open. It's not about being perfect, it's about showing stability under subtle social pressure. Next is the concept of polarity in relationship psychology. Masculine polarity isn't about dominance, it's about grounded presence. It creates natural tension that fuels attraction. The contrast between his calm steadiness and her emotional energy generates magnetic pull. There's also a biological component. When she senses safety, her nervous system can engage in co-regulation. Her heart rate stabilizes, stress hormones lower, and the brain registers trust. This explains why small behaviors, like pausing before responding, not chasing approval, or maintaining composure, carry outsized influence. They signal something primal: security, confidence, and reliability. And here's the subtle truth. The very things that feel ordinary to a man are often the triggers that make women respond unconsciously, but powerfully. I remember a conversation that perfectly illustrated this. A woman I was talking to kept glancing away, seemingly distracted. Most men would have tried harder, leaned in, cracked another joke, or pushed for attention. But I didn't. I simply continued speaking at my own pace, letting the moment unfold naturally. No pressure, no monitoring her reactions. Within minutes, something shifted. Her body subtly oriented toward me. Her laughter became easier. She leaned in, not because I chased it, but because I created the space for it. The paradox is clear. The more we try to force attention, the more the energy resists. The more we relax and allow the interaction to breathe, the more women respond, without realizing why. It's almost counterintuitive. Yet, time and again, psychology and real-life observations confirm it. The pull comes from presence, not performance. Here's the moment we've been building toward. The secret thing men do that makes women react strongly is not a line, a gesture, or a move. It's a state of grounded autonomy,
a calm, internally validated presence that signals confidence without effort. Psychology explains it with a few key frameworks. Self-determination theory. People are naturally drawn to those who are intrinsically motivated, not driven by external approval. Neediness versus autonomy. An excessive neediness signals insecurity. A man who is emotionally autonomous exudes quiet attraction. Predictability versus tension. A stable, calm presence creates subtle tension that fuels desire because it's safe, yet engaging. In practice, it's not about doing something, it's about being. Remaining calm in social situations, not chasing validation, showing internal security. This state subtly communicates, I am complete, I am grounded, and I am present with you. Women sense it unconsciously. It triggers attraction before the rational mind can explain it. This is why the effect feels mysterious. It's not manipulation, it's alignment with basic psychological wiring.
I once watched a woman pause mid-sentence, her smile lingering as she just looked at him. She didn't say anything obvious, no compliments, no flirtation, yet the energy in the room had shifted. She later admitted she couldn't explain why she felt drawn. I don't know, it just felt safe and exciting at the same time, she said. That's the thing about this behavior. Women feel it first. They experience it before they can articulate it. It's not about words or even actions. It's the state he carries, the calm, autonomous presence that communicates security and attraction simultaneously. Moments like this can feel almost magical, but there's a science behind it. It's why trying to replicate lines or tactics never works as reliably, because attraction begins with the energy you hold, not the moves you make.
Here's an important warning. You can't fake this state. Psychology explains why attempts to imitate grounded autonomy often fail. Cognitive dissonance. Acting confident while feeling insecure creates tension. Women sense the mismatch unconsciously. Inauthentic signaling. The brain picks up subtle cues like micro-expressions, tone, and pacing. If your state isn't genuine, it reads as forced. Outcome focus versus presence. Chasing reactions shifts attention outward. Attraction diminishes because the energy becomes dependent and reactive. Research in social neuroscience shows that authenticity and emotional congruence are key to nonverbal influence. Your nervous system communicates what your words cannot. That's why the moment works naturally when it arises from your internal state and fails when it's copied or performed. True attraction isn't learned in a trick or a tactic. It emerges from internal consistency, calm presence, and self-regulation. Understanding this prevents frustration and wasted effort. It's about becoming a man who naturally generates pull, not someone who mimics it.
I remember a simple evening conversation that left a lasting impression. He wasn't loud, he wasn't showing off. He simply spoke calmly, listened fully, and stayed present. The women around him naturally gravitated closer, not because he was performing, but because his energy created an unspoken sense of safety and intrigue. It was quiet confidence in its purest form. He didn't try to control the outcome, he didn't chase validation, and yet, without a word, the dynamic shifted. The pull wasn't dramatic, it was subtle, magnetic, undeniable. Moments like these illustrate the power of being grounded. It's a state that invites connection, without pressure, without expectation, without effort.
The impact of this behavior isn't just momentary, it reshapes relationships over time. Women respond to consistency and grounded presence. It builds respect, they trust his stability, emotional attraction, polarity grows naturally, desire sustainability, pull persists beyond initial interactions.
From a psychological perspective, this aligns with relationship maintenance theory. Long-term attraction is strongest when one partner provides emotional security while maintaining autonomy. It also strengthens polarity. Grounded energy allows natural tension and contrast, keeping interactions exciting without drama. Furthermore, consistent presence reduces decision fatigue for the partner. She doesn't have to manage his reactions or guess his mood, creating space for deeper emotional connection. Over time, this quiet, nonverbal influence fosters greater intimacy, more authentic engagement, a magnetic, lasting pull that feels effortless. It's why the men who understand this rarely need to chase attention. The state they hold does the work, consistently and subtly, over months and years.
Here's the takeaway most men miss. Attraction often grows when you stop trying to force it, when you stop chasing reactions, when you stop performing. The secret isn't a line, a move, or a tactic, it's the state you carry. Calm, grounded, present, internally validated, emotionally steady. When you embody that state, women feel it. They lean in, they open up, they respond before they even know why. And the most remarkable part, you don't have to be anyone else. You just need to be yourself, fully, calmly, consistently. Moments like these aren't flashy, they're subtle, quiet, and incredibly powerful. Less effort, more pull. It's simple, but it changes everything.